Yoco, bekend as die digitale klein blou masjientjie waarmee kaartbetalings sommer maklik gedoen kan word, beskik oor 'n unieke en betroubare manier waarop hulle transaksies van klein besighede kan monitor. Matthew Brownell, hoof van kommunikasie en die Yoco handelsmerk, sluit nou via Skype by my aan. Matthew, welcome to WINSLYN. You've got a Yoco Small Business Recovery Monitor. What exactly is it?
Well, thank you so much. So, yeah, as you said, Yoco is the little blue card machine company. So we're a provider of payment and point-of-sale technology for around 90,000 small businesses across South Africa. And really our customer base crosses every industry, every province, and they range from micro small businesses and sole props to really multi-million rand SMEs. But as a customer base, they are a great litmus for the sector in totality. And, with these card machines, we have the ability to really see on a daily basis, in real time, how sales and turnover is doing within the sector. So we have like a very unique insight into what's happening. And the Small Business Recovery Monitor came about because quite simply, we realized very early on that this was an incredibly fast-moving crisis and really without precedent, and that access to data was going to be just so important for decision-making, really crucial. So our customers were asking for the data. They were saying things like, what is another restaurant in the Western Cape or in Gauteng doing compared to me, and how are things progressing for other people? And the reality is that small businesses in South Africa are incredibly underserved from a data perspective. And the traditional economic style data, which you might be 2 to 3 months delayed, is really not useful in a crisis like this. So we wanted to provide a real-time view of small business turnover based on the sales that were coming through our card machines. So the Recovery Monitor does something super simple. We took the first 2 weeks of March as a baseline, and then we started mapping against that baseline all the way through the various levels and anonymized that data across our 90,000 customers and made it available in real time. And you can see it by province, by industry, etc.
So Matthew, on a first glance, when you looked at the data from March up until now, what is the data telling you?
Well, first of all, it's been a roller coaster. So there is nothing linear or straight lined about this process. What we saw early on in level 5, almost as you can be expected, we saw the lights go out. So there was a 92% drop in turnover, almost overnight.
Sure.
The lowest point was reached on, I think, the 10th of April. And then since then, we've seen slow, sort of very gradual improvements, averaged around 3 to 4% a week. That got a bit bigger as we moved into level 3, so quite a big spike happened then. And then things started going backwards again in advanced level 3. As of last week, we are now back to 78% of that pre-COVID level, so effectively 22% down.
Sure.
I think some of the key insights are that, when you added load shedding onto the crisis, we saw just a huge impact for small business. That happened a few weeks ago, about a 12 to 15% drop. And there's no doubt that the alcohol sale ban and the curfew is really, really hindering the restaurant industry to the extent that they're in a huge amount of peril right now.
Matthew, I want to ask you, are you seeing any big differences between provinces?
Yes, we are. So the Western Cape is by far the furthest behind. I think this is largely down to tourism and the fact that the Western Cape economy is massively, massively reliant on that tourism market, particularly of international tourists. And the lights are obviously still out there. So the Western Cape is currently sitting only at about 67% of that pre-COVID level. In some of the other provinces, the inland provinces, which are slightly more rural, like the Northern Cape, actually COVID, the levels are back to pre-COVID. But I think this is largely due to the fact that people have changed their payment behavior as well, which is affecting the numbers quite substantially. And a lot of people have ditched notes and coins in favor of digital payments because of the dirty nature of notes and coins.
Yeah.
So that's definitely influencing the numbers as well and making it look more positive than perhaps it really is.
Matthew, thank you so much for your time. Ons neem 'n kort breek en gesels net hierna meer. Bly gerus ingeskakel.